Present.
Keith Kyle,
Here.
Christopher Almond,
Absent with cause.
Anthony Brunetti,
Here.
James Manning.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, first item on the agenda is a consent agenda, approval of the meeting minutes from September 21, 2023. What is the board's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the consent agenda. Second.
A motion has been made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries 5-0. There's 4 items on the agenda this evening. I'm just going to do a little housekeeping. Mr. Craven, on Doherty, you would like to move to November 16th?
Yes, the building involved, it's a garage. It's not a stick built, it's like a prefab thing. And we took some suggestions from the planning board about modifying it, and it's much more of a process than just simply having an architect draw it in line. The building is a prefab, so we gotta see if they can accommodate the need for a certain amount of space by reconfiguring it somehow. So it's going to take at least a month.
All right. Chair would entertain a motion that we move Doherty to a date certain of November 16th.
So moved. Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries 5-0. All right, first item on the agenda is Sokol, Plat K, Lot 369, located at 19 Francis Avenue. Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Oh, well. Could you, you're not an attorney by any chance, are you?
No.
You need to raise your right hand. This young lady will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state and spell your last name.
Flood, F-L-O-O-D.
First name?
Brian.
Brian?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're here to, for the variance for 19 Francis Ave for a deck renovation to the front and rear of the house. At the front, there's an existing concrete stair, concrete steps to entry. That's currently, I'd say, probably not the safest. The steps are uneven, and the way the door swings, you have to kind of step down the stairs to really get it open and into the house. So we're proposing eliminating that concrete stair, installing a new wood frame deck and step entry, and extending the deck to the left towards the corner to allow for a safe way to open the door swing and go on the step back down the stairs. With the proposed new deck as well, we are not looking to extend further than the steps are. Over the existing steps are over the setback for the front setback, and where we're proposing that the new stairs extend to would be the same point. The deck itself is a little further out than the landing that's currently in place, but that's to help allow the steps to land at the same point and not have to mess with the hardscape on the property. And then at the rear, we are proposing to expand the back deck as well. That currently is about a 10 by 12 deck that has an existing outdoor shower on it. That kind of limits the use of that deck, so we're looking to expand it further to the right and make it a little more usable.
Mr. Flood, you're the project manager for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Could you explain again what you want to do to that back deck? Didn't quite catch all of that.
Yes.
Thanks.
So right now, the existing deck is not a cross-hatched-in area. There is, in the bottom right corner of the deck, up along the house, an existing outdoor shower that doesn't make it completely, unusable deck, but it takes up a fair amount of it and makes it a little tough to use. So we are proposing expanding that deck to the corner of the house, to the corner of the house, to make a little bit more of a more usable deck for the family holidays and
Are you, on the fronts, the new front stairs, are you simply going to build over the existing stairs? Or are you gonna you're gonna demolish and take those out?
our intent is to eliminate and completely demolish and take out the concrete steps.
And I guess, it says the stairs will be constructed with pervious materials. What kind of materials are pervious that would you be using on that deck?
Perhaps not the best explanation of it. It would be a composite or wood deck, so maybe not pervious, but rather than the like the half-inch gaps between the deck boards themselves.
What if they're not pervious, are they?
No, I think the intention was that the deck would be considered pervious because it would have the open slats and it would be pervious underneath. So it would be considered for site coverage if we're in a high water zone.
Mr. Flood, the rear stairs aren't moving.
No, the rear
They're
stairs are not
just-
moving. They're staying, you know, we're just looking to grow it back down.
So you, could you go to a picture of the present, the stairs the way they are now, please? Thanks, Rick. All right, that's a shot, yeah. So, Mr. Flood, where, in relation to the existing, where are the new stairs gonna, where the concrete, where that planet,
Yes,
They'll
they'll land,
right here?
yeah, they will land at the same
There you go.
point that these stairs end at. So the existing stairs have different tread depths and riser heights right now, so they're not very uniform for the code. So when we do the deck and redo the stairs, they will land at the same point that these stairs end at that concrete landing.
Okay. I'd like to measure those, Wayne.
Need a yardstick and a ruler.
You should take an average. That alone is good reason. Just removing that.
Safety, nothing else.
Hey, Jill, is there zoning relief required for this back deck? It's not listed in this application.
So the relief required for the back deck would be included in the hardscape.
Oh, that's good.
It's not a variance, it's not a side or rear yard
It's just-
variance.
It's
It's
just,
the overall hardscape.
right, all right.
Any further questions, Mr. Flood? No one? Okay. Thank you. At this time, I will ask, if there's anyone who is in favor of this and would like to speak? Okay. Is there anyone who is opposed to this project and would like to speak? All right. Chair will entertain a motion that we close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
A motion, Tom made it?
Tony
Oh,
made it,
Tony
I
made it.
second.
You seconded it. Motion has been made and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that motion carries 5-0. What is the board's pleasure in regards to Sokol?
Mr. Chairman, with regard to project summary Sokol dated September 20, 2023, tax assessors plat K, lot 369, location is 19 Francis Avenue. The applicants requesting to demolish the front stairs, replace the front stairs, increase the outside deck, the front deck, and increase the side deck as well. The applicant was represented by the project manager, Brian Flood, who explained the project itself. There were no proponents, there were no opponents for this project. The relief requested is from section 6.4 dimensional regulations for a 2-foot front yard setback variance, and section 6.4B floor area ratio matrix, maximum hardscape 280 square feet or 3% variance. The board has reviewed this project and found it to be complete in conformance 5-0, and recommendation for approval to us 4-1. Those is my findings of fact.
Can I get a second?
Second.
A motion has been made and properly seconded to enter the findings of fact into the record. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, same project summary, Sokol, tax assessors plat K, lot 369, location 19 Francis Avenue, dated September 20, 2023. Applicant is looking for relief from section 6.4, dimensional regulation, 2-foot front yard setback variance, and section 6.4B, floor area ratio matrix, maximum hardscape 280 square feet or 3% variance. After seeing the condition of those front stairs, and I think for safety reasons alone, we should be able to do this. So my motion is to grant the relief requested with conditions 1 through 4.
Second.
A motion has been made and properly seconded to grant the relief requested with conditions. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that motion carries 5-0. Good luck, Mr. Clark. All right, next item is Harrington, plat R-2, lot 9, 25 East Shore Road. Mr. Crater.
Mr. Manning, how are you?
I'm well. And you?
St. Paul's School, 1963,
Yep.
long time ago.
Yes and no.
Who does not still be here?
Mr. Graydon, you don't remember, but LaSalle Academy,
LaSalle Academy.
1974.
1974, that's right, yeah. No, I do remember.
I know.
We were little kids, and
Back then.
he was from 8 kids, and
Yeah.
I'm from 7 kids.
Yeah.
So, you know, you were a medium-sized family at St. Paul's School.
Well, we had the Foxes,
Yeah, they had
12 and 13, right?
No, 16 and 11, respectively. One Fox family had 16 kids.
Oh, that must have been Raymond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that. You're gonna have to introduce yourself every morning to remember me. Well, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm here tonight filling in for James Callahan, who originally presented this application to the planning board a few weeks ago. James has been trying to make up for he's got a lot of things going on with his father having passed away, so he asked me to be the pinch hitter here, so hopefully I'll be able to keep my eye on the ball. I'm here tonight with Elaine and Paul Harrington and their architect Kyle Bambrick. Elaine and Paul own a property at 25 East Shore Road on Great Island. It's a beautiful area with views of Bluff Hill Cove. Elaine and Paul purchased the property about a year ago, and as with the case with Narragansett homes, there are a few quirks to this home. Oftentimes because they had other uses, like summer uses. In this case, there's a big wood shop that was part of this home. The property was built in '57. The property is 1,957 square feet, but it only includes one bedroom with one closet. The home has a 30 by 18 or 580 square foot workshop or work area that was used by a woodworker, which the Harringtons really have no use for. We're proposing to make the home more livable. So in that vein, the purpose to remove the woodshop woody area in the northern half of the structure. In that space, the proposal includes a 2-story space with a living room on the first floor and 2 bedrooms with a bathroom on the second floor. There's also an existing garage, and the space in the middle of the home will be converted into a breezeway and laundry area between these 2 previous structure and new structure, or reuse of the woodshed. Oddly, those changes really don't require much in the way of relief. However, we do need relief from the coastal overlay district regulations due to a small expansion of a deck to the east of the rear of the home. An existing pergola, which was constructed at some point years ago, encroaches into the front setback. So we're asking for the relief for front setback variance for the pergola of 14.8 feet. As noted in the application, this is kind of a long explanation for somewhat limited renovations or requests. So I ask now that the architect come forward and kind of walk you through what it is and what it's proposed to be. So with that, I'll call Kyle.
How are we doing?
Here's your sword.
Thanks.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last for me.
Kyle Bamrick, B-A-M-R-I-C-K.
Thank you.
Sure. Good evening, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Well,
Good. So yeah, it is a pretty, as it's already been stated, it's a pretty unique home. And what we're trying to do is really minimize the impact to the site, given the distance to the water. That proposed addition is in the exact same footprint as the existing garage. It's not built to the right FEMA elevation either, so we can't just use it and build upon it. Unfortunately, we have to demo the piers and the piers and the framing, and the program that the homeowners have fits nicely and doesn't really require anything more than the existing footprint. So we're not really making a lot of impact on the site in that regard, but we are creating some outdoor living space with a deck that also aligns with the existing deck on that eastern side. So we're trying to kind of keep it as far back from the water as possible, but also make it functional as a home. I don't know if you can go to the next slide, the next floor plan. Down one. Yeah, so breezeway is maybe not the greatest term, but it's a connection between the great room and kitchen. This is the front door of the house. So to get to this other section of the house, you have to go down a set of stairs, through a garage, into this wood shop. So what we're doing is rearranging some program, putting a laundry room in that garage space, getting rid of the doors, putting some windows there, opening that to the kitchen, opening up the staircase, kind of creating a side entrance and another entrance out to the deck, and just a much more open path to the new living space, and then a single stair up to 2 bedrooms and a Jack and Jill bedroom, or bathroom, excuse me. I don't know if there's any questions I can answer. It is pretty, I feel it's fairly straightforward. Again, the whole goal is to kind of minimize the impact on the site as much as possible and work within the existing constraints in the design of the home. And there you can see this is the primary suite, basically the whole second floor of the house, which looks really large relative to the home, but it's got a unique thing where there's a roof deck and a double slider and a double slider. So if you're standing here, you can look right across from the bedroom from this like study sitting room, and it's and then the closet is kind of open. There's just the circulation and existing conditions is, I haven't seen anything like that before. We're not proposing to change anything on that side of the house, just the new addition.
Mr. Baymar, could you just, could you explain the rear deck improvements? There's a sentence here that says the rear deck improvements will be 43 feet from the coastal feature in the wetland and will require a relief from the ordinance, but these deck expansions will be over existing landscape improvements. Could you talk a little bit about what that is?
Sure thing. So on the east side of the property, this is just grass and lawn. The homeowners are doing some rebuild of some other areas in collaboration with CRMC to remedy some of the work that's been done over the years to kind of rebuild that coastal buffer. But yeah, the proposed deck is expanding 9 feet from the proposed addition, and to this corner flag right here, a wetland flag, it's about 43 feet to that front corner. So we're not encroaching on any wetland buffer or existing vegetation, it's just lawn. So, and we're trying to keep it in line with the existing deck on the existing home as well.
I didn't see it here. Do you have a preliminary determination from CRMC?
We do not.
You do not?
No, we're waiting for this kind of, we've spoken with them, they've given us some positive feedback. Unfortunately, the engineer couldn't be here tonight, but yeah, we've been going through this planning and zoning process so that then we can submit for CRMC's review.
Mr. Callahan, oftentimes CRMC wants to hear from you before they review the...
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we see a write-up that there's some reference to having had a preliminary conversation with CRMC and having gotten some preliminary determination from them.
Yeah, Crossman Engineering has had some preliminary conversations with them. There isn't anything formal in writing, but
I think it's, from what I understand, there isn't a lot going on with CRMC, right? It's tough to get answers.
Yeah.
Very difficult to get answers on.
Yeah, so Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes,
this property has already had previous ascents. You can see the red dashed line to the left. That's a previous CRMC, I don't want to say buffer zone, but where they've held their limit of disturbance for previous, not the dashed line to the right, but the one to the left. The applicant isn't proposing to encroach in there. When the project is it isn't on an existing disturbed area. It's proposing to disturb vegetated area that hasn't previously been disturbed, or it's very close. The town will request or require that the applicant receive either an edge verification or a preliminary determination from CRMC. In this case, we did not require that because it's over an existing disturbed area. It's outside of their CRMC's already demarcated limit of disturbance. So we didn't require that, Mr. Kelly. It will ultimately go to CRMC. They take the last bite at every apple.
Thank you, Joe.
thank you.
So Jill, just to clarify that, does that mean that the granting of this application would be conditioned upon CRMC approval?
Yes, Mr. Powell, and it actually should be one of your conditions, so let's just double check that. Condition number 2, issuance of incentive for CRMC for this project.
I'm sorry.
I know, I apologize. Condition number 2 states that the zoning board approval is contingent upon the issuance of an assent by CRMC for this project If they were to modify the site plan, the project may still be approved, provided additional relief was not necessary.
Mr. Bamber, can you explain the pergola situation? I don't quite understand why that's
Yes.
messed up or it needs to be fixed here.
That actually was a good, that was actually, the site plan's probably the best spot, or a photo, either way.
Oh, I thought I had no, okay.
You did. That's the big one.
Yeah, if you could zoom in there. Right, so, the existing home is sited 21.99 feet from the property line, and then this pergola was built at some point in time that is 14.66 feet from the property line. It's just an existing condition that, you know, has been created at some point that, again, we're not proposing any, besides the garage space, you know, there's 2 garages underneath over here, so there's 3 garages for a 1-bedroom house. So we don't need all that. We also have a really nice large gravel drive to the south. There's also another parking space here. So in terms of parking, we've got plenty of space, so therefore we don't need this garage here. And that's the only thing that we're proposing changing on the existing home. Not answering, you know, but that is just an existing wood pergola. Then there's the steps up to the main door of the house.
Thanks.
Yeah. I think a condition from the planning board meeting was that it cannot be enclosed. And there's no intent for that. We're just leaving it as is as an existing condition. Yeah, you can see stairs from either side up to the front door, and then this little shade structure pergola.
Ryan, do you have a close-up of that pergola? Is that the best you can?
I thought I had
Best
another one in
you've got.
there, but I don't.
I might have a better photo I could share.
Yeah, you really can't. Yeah, don't even bother, because it has to be part of the record.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Unless you want to leave your phone, so.
Mr. Van Wyck, your clients had nothing to do with this pergola, and
No, they
it
just
was
purchased.
there when they bought the house?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Any further questions?
Good.
No? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
Great.
Mr. Harrington wants to come up and say a few words about what he proposes to do with the additional space, other than live in a 3-garage, 1-bedroom house.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last.
Paul Harrington, Harrington.
Thank you.
So when we purchased the home, we were obviously aware of the large area, the woodworking. The previous owner, that's how he made his living. He was a furniture manufacturer. He did all the work out of his home. So that entire area was full of equipment for sawing and cutting and doing all types of stuff. However, we were not aware that we would not be able to utilize that structure the way it was. So unfortunately, that's what brought all this up. The septic system is an approved 3-bedroom septic, although there's only really 1 bedroom existing. What we're planning on doing is putting 2 more bedrooms. So that'll bring it to a 3-bedroom house, residence. So there's no work that needs to be done to the septic system. We have 4 children of different ages. They're all getting older now, but our intention was to use it as a summer home for a certain period of time. Our main residence is in Cranston, Rhode Island, and we plan on moving here permanently and transitioning over to this home. However, it just, we can't do so until we put more bedrooms in the house. So when we found out from the engineer that the existing structure, the concrete pylons or
Yeah, the pressure treated posts and the framing and the footings.
just wouldn't be able to support the second story. So that's when we got in touch, when we were talking to the engineer went and talked to CRMC. They actually were open to improving the structure and putting the foundation building up, thus improving the structure and the residence. So that's kind of where we are. Have any questions for me?
Any questions, Mr. Harrington?
Nope.
Thank you.
But before we close, I have a question, Mr. Craven.
Yes.
I guess we're required to make a specific finding on this with respect to the special use permit in the overlay district, which says the variance will enhance the protection of the environmentally sensitive area. I can make a finding based on what I've heard so far, that it won't degrade it. I don't know that I can make a finding until I hear more about how it will enhance the protection of the area.
Well, the current use of the house has its inappropriate attributes to it. We will be landscaping and creating drainage issues underneath the pergola or in other places where water runoff from the roofs or whatever will go in the right direction, not the wrong direction. And I believe that will enhance the waterfront aspect of the property.
May I also chime in?
Sure.
Yeah, Mike?
Is it possible to go to the site plan? So there's two areas that are going to be part of this. I mean, this is more as it pertains to CRMC, but these two areas are areas identified that will be rebuilding the coastal buffer. So I think that's what we're kind of alluding to, that there have been some things that have happened over the years that haven't been so kind in terms of the existing coastal vegetation. So I think that's what we're referring to, is this area and this area here to the north.
You return that to its more natural state,
Exactly. Yep.
which will be enhancing what should have been there but was altered by someone else, prior owner or whatever.
Is it one of the lower, on the lower part of the screen, is that set to be a rain garden, or is that is it restoration of?
It's restoration. There are some ornamental grasses and things around near there, but this is a restoration. Both these areas are, I believe, are identified as a restoration.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Otherwise, that's all I got.
No, I think we're good.
Good.
Tom, I would say that the fact that the wood shop will be replaced and brought up to code, meet FEMA regulations, is an enhancement.
Yeah, it's an enhancement, I just don't understand. I mean, again, the testimony I just heard was helpful because I've not heard about the restoring of the buffer, of those areas of the buffer. So from my vantage point, that covered what I needed. With respect to the wood shop gym being converted, it's good from a FEMA point of view. I just don't know how it applies to enhancing the protection of the environmentally sensitive areas.
Well, if you think of it, if we had a storm that flooded the property, then you got into that wood shop, just saying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's an enhancement there. you're not, you're not gonna lose it to, the potential storm.
You mean in terms of the existing,
The height,
the height as well
Yes.
as the
so you're gonna have
existing
a flow through.
piering and things of that, the pierings? It sits on piers now, doesn't it?
Yes.
It does, okay.
Yep. So, okay. Any further questions?
I'm good.
All right, is there anyone who would like to speak in favor? Anyone who is opposed that would like to speak? All right, 2 for 2. Chair would entertain a motion that we close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded. Tony made it, you seconded.
Who seconded?
Tony.
No, Tony
Oh,
made the
I did.
motion.
You
I
did.
do it just
Keith-
second.
Oh, all right,
Keith-
Tom.
I think Keith seconded it first,
I
before I
seconded
did, yeah.
All right,
He seconded it before I did.
okay.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that motion carries 5-0. What is the board's pleasure?
Okay, well, we'll try it, how's that? Hang on for a second. Okay, Mr. Chairman, with respect to project summary Harrington, tax assessor's plat R2, lot 9, location 25 East Shore Road. We heard tonight, I want to enter into the record the following findings of fact. We heard tonight from the applicant's attorney, Mr. Craven, from the applicant's architect, Kyle Bambrick, and from the owner, Paul Harrington. And the applicant proposes to demolish an existing woodshop workshop and construct a two-bedroom, two-story addition on the existing footprint. Construct a front deck and expand decks on the rear of the building. The project requires a special use permit from the Coastal and Freshwater Wetlands Overlay District, a variance and a special use permit from the Coastal and Resources Overlay District, and a variance from the Dimensional Regulation, Section 6.4. And I'm sorry, Sections 4.3, Sections 4.4 before that. The facts for the record, the lot is, I don't know that it's already included in the write-up, so I don't think we have to go there. The essence of this is that the applicant intends to demolish the existing woodworking shop in its place and in its existing footprint, build a two-story addition to the house that serve basically as a bedroom, bedroom and first floor, I'll say, family room. The relief that is requested is essentially a special use permit, a Coastal and Freshwater Wetlands Overlay District special use permit, section 4. Under section 4.3, under section 4.4, a 157-foot variance and special use permit under the Coastal Resources Overlay District, and under section 6.6 under the dimensional regulations, a 15.34 front yard setback variance. The application was reviewed by the planning board. The planning board found the application to be complete. The planning board also found the application to be in conformance with the land use component of the comprehensive plan. And the planning board recommended, they found it complete in conformance by a 5-0 vote, and recommended that the board approve, our board approve it by a 5-0 vote as well. Mr. Chairman, that ends my findings of fact.
Second.
A motion has been made and properly seconded by Mr. United to enter the findings of fact into the record. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, with respect to the Harrington project summary, again, 25 East Shore Road, I recommend that this board grant the relief requested in terms of issuing a Coastal and Freshwater Wetlands Overlay District special use permit under sections 4.3, a 157-foot variance and special use permit under section 4.4 of the Coastal Resources Overlay District, and 15.34 feet front yard setback variance under section 6.4 dimensional regulations, subject to the conditions outlined on page 3, conditions 1 through 8. And that is, I'm sorry.
That's right, it's going to be working with the manager recommendation.
Oh, okay.
It's up to you, the same, I should have saw.
Oh, and that, and I guess there's a term of art for, what's the term of art in terms of approving something that's already been built?
Forgiveness over permission?
No, I thought there was a term of art that you, never mind. It'll come up again in another meeting, I'll remember it. That the existing non-conforming pergola also be.
Well, I mean, it's legalized, but it's
Yeah,
not
that-
really, I mean, that's what essentially.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
So we're basically affirming that the
So
pergola
that was built without a permit?
was built without a permit, but is now being added to the list. And I guess it's going to remain as open space, according to this.
So, Mr. Catlin, are you adding that as condition number 9?
That's the question.
If you tell me that's the right way to do this, then I will.
That's the right way to do
Okay,
this.
then that's what I've done. So that's, Mr. Chairman, that's my motion.
I'll second.
A motion has been made and properly seconded to grant the relief requested with conditions. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries 5-0. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. See you, Anthony. Don't forget, 50-year reunion next year.
I know. I don't want to think about it.
You guys go home.
So do you, I don't want to leave.
All right. Final hearing this evening is Crawl, 50 Watson Avenue, Plat H, Lot 64-10.
It must be me.
I don't know, did I say your name properly?
No, because it's not, you'll hear it in a minute.
All right.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state and spell your last name.
Sugarman, S-U-G-E-R-M-A-N.
And your first name?
Michael,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So, Brian Crowell, the owner, asked that I be his representative for the evening, but he said to me there was really nothing that I could add that the board didn't already have. I'm not sure, other than being present, I'm not sure what I can offer you. I can certainly call him if there's a specific question, and you can talk to him, on my phone, but I'm not sure what I can add.
I don't,
No,
can't do that.
that's not allowed.
Okay,
I mean, just,
fine.
But normally, Mr. Sugarman, whoever's presenting goes through the project and discusses it.
Yeah, I asked that question, and Brian had said that, the board had every aspect of information that there is to have, and if this doesn't work, we'll just have to have them come back down in another month. I mean, they live in New York, it's
all right,
Excuse me.
difficult.
yeah, so we got just two options here. First option is obviously you can continue it and for the applicant to show up. However, this has only happened once in my 32 years. Technically, the applicant does not have to put on a written, an oral testimony. They can rest on the submissions. Now, that's only happened to me on a cell tower when there was 1,000 pages of submissions about gaps in coverage and height and the Telecommunications Act, so I've never actually seen it, but you are allowed to make a decision based upon what has been submitted.
I'll add that I do have notes that he sent me, but kind of explaining what he's already told you folks. I can certainly, to satisfy the requirements, read what he wrote. but it seems redundant to me, but it's entirely up to you, so.
I know that Gail Halleck is the architect. I mean, she presents before this board a lot. I don't know if there's a possibility of her coming here to present. I mean, I don't know.
Tonight?
No, I mean, we have to be continued, but,
See if that works out for you.
but I mean, if they're in New York, you know, you sometimes,
Oh, Gail.
Experts come.
Right, yeah, good,
Yeah,
great.
she's local, so, yeah.
So, Mr. Sugarman, just for clarification purposes, you're just a friend?
I'm the next door neighbor.
Next door neighbor, okay, got it.
And I
Thank
am
you.
all in favor of, I live right next door, I see the,
Yeah, hey, you.
hey, yeah, so I see the house every day, and
Okay,
they're,
I didn't know if you were an architect or.
No,
I mean,
the plans are perfectly fine by me.
it's not to.
Mr. Chairman,
No.
if I may, Mr. Crowell had emailed and asked about a deferral, and I said, or does he have to be here? And I told him, you need to have an authorized representative present here to present your application. And this, I was informed Michael Sugarman would be here, so.
Okay.
I mean, in the abundance of caution that he wants himself and/or the architect or a professional here, I would suggest that we continue it and not make a decision based upon the record.
I agree. I think my predecessor was fond of saying there are no precedents in zoning, so.
Well, that's still true.
I would like to keep it that way. I'm sure we're all confident enough we could go through this and issue a decision, but I would prefer to hear from either Mr. Crowell or Gail Howell, somebody that's familiar with the project. I do appreciate Mr. Sugarman
It's okay.
taking his time and being very neighborly.
No worries.
So,
Okay. I will let the Crowells know. Can you put them back on the docket for next month? Is that automatic?
yes, we're gonna, actually, Chair would entertain a motion that we, since we did open this, we'll continue it to a date certain of November 16th. Will everyone be, well, doesn't, we haven't taken testimony, so it doesn't matter. Can I get that in a motion form?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries 5-0.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Sugarman.
You're welcome.
We should all have names
Meeting
like you.
adjourned.
Right?
That's right.
Jill, do you have anything else for us this evening?
Don't, but next month we will.
Okay.
Yeah, the Crowell property.
Yeah.
No, we will have, the planning board is looking at changes, responding to the state mandated zoning enabling changes, and we are working through that process right now. By the end of this month, the planning board should have recommendations to council, and we can go over that with you next month.
Okay.
And there's two different ones. There's mandatory changes that the state enabling legislation is making us do, and then there's discretionary changes that the town is proposing that's going to run through the process.
So we'll get both. Okay.
I off the hook. Guess I was never on the hook.
And there's a workshop on Monday with the town council if you
Is there?
if you want to go. Anyway, you're up there. So.
All right. I did notice in our packet that the rules of procedure are out, and the current phone and contact numbers, so I would take that, I took it out of mine and put it in right in my zoning book, so we all have it.
Was that from last time? Last month.
No, this is actually, there was a template before, right?
I
It was
don't have it in mind.
proposed, this is the,
I'm not sure.
Well, the-
This is your
Well,
code. It's your actual code that has the rules of procedure in it. So,
I know what you're talking about.
Change it.
No, it was
well, no, I'm gonna, when I give you.
It was in mine
when I send these
anyways.
out, I
So you do
send
have
out
the
same
template,
one.
are you talking about the template decision?
Okay.
That will change in January, so I'm gonna keep draft on it, and then we'll go through it again in January. Since one of a couple of the changes that you'll be hearing about next month, the standards of review are actually changing. They're eliminating some of the development standards.
All right,
Motion.
is that it?
That's it.
Chair would entertain a motion
If
to
they didn't have
adjourn.
them, they would have made them yes or no.
All those in favor?
Tony,
Maybe Helen?
Opposed?
That was cute.
Motion carries 5-0. You're all set, thank you.
It was right, Ron was right, huh?
Are we done with that?
Sitting like 6 hours in